Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru,
Vaheguru Sahib Jiyo Satgur Ayo Saran Tuhari Mile Sukh Naam Har Sobha Chinta Lahe Hamari Rahau Avar na Suje Duji Thahar Har Paryo To Dwari Lekha Chod Alekha Chhuta Hum Nirgun Leho Ubari Sad Baksand Sada Mehrwana Sabna De Adhari Nanak Das Sant Pache Paryo Rakh Leho Eho Bari Rakh Leho Eho Bari Tan Tan Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj ਦੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰੀ ਪੱਠੀ ਸਾਧ ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਆਓ ਗੱਜ ਗੱਜੇ ਫਤਿਹ ਆਖੋ ਜੀ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ. So we're now coming up to the third Shabad in the Kirtan Sohila in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, what comes up after Akhya Shabad. And last week we looked at the Shabad Chhe Kar Chhe Gur Chhe Upadesh. There we skipped a line. Galti ho gayi si mere to. We skipped a line in the Katha. No one noticed really apart from me upstairs when I realised, oh dear. So, onu ਆਪਾਂ ਹੁਣ ਛੇਤੀ ਯਾਦ ਕਰਕੇ we will go on to the next Shabad. So, Pulan jo kadi khema. Maharaj said in that Shabad, the main Rahau di Pankti, they said, Chhe kar chhe gur chhe upadesh gur gur eko ves anek. Then Maharaj says, Baba, jai kar karte kirat hoye, so kar rakh vadai toye. Rahau. This is the main Rahau di Pankti. Guru Sahib says, Baba, hey, Baba is respected. Jiਵੇਂ ਆਪਾਂ Guru Nanak Dev Ji is talking to Vaheguru and they are saying Baba. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰੱਬ ਨੂੰ Baba ਆਖਿਆ. And when a Sikh is saying this, a Sikh is looking to the Guru and saying Baba. It's a respected form of addressing somebody. So, ਇੱਥੇ respected ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ Guru Maharaj is saying to Vaheguru, Baba, ਜੈ ਘਰ ਕਰਤੇ ਕੀਰਤ ਹੋਏ ਸੋ ਕਰ ਰਾਖ ਵਡਾਈ ਤੋਏ. Raho. Now what is that word kar? It's come up before. ਪਹਿਲੇ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਵੀ ਇਹੀ ਅੱਖਰ ਆਇਆ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਰ. ਜੈ ਘਰ ਕੀਰਤ ਆਖੀਏ ਕਰਤੇ ਕਾ ਹੋਏ ਵਿਚਾਰੋ. ਵਿਚਾਰੋ ਤਿਤ ਘਰ ਗਾਵੋ ਸੋਹਿਲਾ ਸਿਵਰਿਓ ਸਿਰਜਣਹਾਰੋ. So again Maharaj is talking about this word kar, and here the kar can refer to the human body, where that place, the house in our own houses, that place, and even that Dharmic Granth, like Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, or even the Shastras or the Vedas or the Ramayana, jithe bhi jai kar karte kirat hoye, jithe bhi karte di kirat ho rahi hegi hai, wherever somebody is praising and singing praises of karte meaning karta purakh, the one who is doing everything, the one who is making us, giving to us right now, and in the end will finish us off as well. The biggest creator and the biggest destroyer. O ekko data mangiye sab kich palle pae man tan saas giras prabh ekko ek tyai. Sikhi is about worshipping that one creator who gives, creates, gives and destroys. There is no second. So Maharaj says, jai kar karte kirat hoye so kar rakh vadai toye. Maharaj, wherever there is many meanings of this word rakh vadai toye, wherever there is your worship taking place, wherever anybody is praising you in a Dharam Granth, so kar rakh vadai toye. If it's a Dharam Granth, Maharaj says, we're saying to Vaheguru, then keep your greatness there. What is your greatness? Thoda naam. When you have a name, then that is your greatness, isn't it? The vadda naam ban gaya. When somebody says your name has become big in this world, that's referring to that you're very famous and your praises are being sung in many places. People are talking about you. So Akal Purakh is the greatest of the great. So therefore they have the greatest name. So kar rakh vadai toye. Vadai means your greatness, your naam. And in that house where people are praising you, if in the Dharam Granth, then keep your greatness there. If in a Dharmic Asthan, in a place of spirituality, whether it's a mandir, whether it's a mosque, whether it's a Gurdwara, Maharaj is saying, So kar rakh vadai toye. Because the previous Shabad, Maharaj has said already, Ki Gur Gur Eko Ves Anek. That we might think that, oh, it's just like this is the religion, this is the only best religion. But Maharaj is trying to break us out of this box that we put ourselves into. That there's only different Chhe Kar. Maharaj says, no, Chhe ni, Anek ni. Yes, there are Chhe Shastras, but this Anek means beyond Ginti, Aginat. There's many ways of reaching God. Maharaj says that Baba Jai Kar Karte Kirit Hoye So Kar Rakh Vadai Toye. So keep your name there. Wherever there is people who are worshipping you or singing your praise, keep your name there. But also, jaise dekhiye word Rakh nu, fir when we read Benti Chaupai da part, then we say Rakh, Hamri Karo Haath De Racha. Racha and Rakhya, same thing, protect me. So Maharaj is saying, wherever there is someone who is praising you, in that place, onu bacha ke rakho. Save that place as well. So many times, you know, if you look in some places, bombs have fallen, but they haven't blown up in churches. Bombs have fallen, or in some places and it hasn't blown, or a mosque has been saved. And people say it's a miracle of God. Well, of course it's a miracle of God, because that's what Akal Purakh does. So kar rakh. He protects that place. Vadai toy. This is your greatness. It thodi ek hor vadai hai. Vadai means one great more thing about you. One great thing about Vaheguru is wherever people worship him, he protects that place. Oh, aap sahai honde hain uthe. We say Gur mere sang sada hai nale. And now for a Sikh, this applies to a Sikh, because a Sikh will go to a Gurdwara, a Sikh will bow down to the Granth, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So this is the house for us. This is Pothi Parameswar Ka Thaan. This Pothi, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj, is the place of Vaheguru. Yeah, Vaho Vaho Bani Nirankar hai, tis Jevad Avar na koi. Nothing is great as Gurbani upon this earth. So for us, this is God upon earth. Last week I was at a talk in Birmingham, and the police had come down to meet the Sikh community. So they asked me to do Katha, the Hukamnama, and explain Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj's importance. I couldn't say anything much. I could just say, look, if God came to earth, we would treat God with as much satkar as we treat Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Yeah? They would put them on our head, we would bow down, we wouldn't touch them with our dirty hands. We would keep so much suchamta, so much respect for God, the same way we do for Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. There's no difference for us. So for a Sikh, Sri Guru Granth Sahib Ji is the form of God upon earth. Sargun Sarup of Akal Purakh upon earth. The physical body. For us, the way we can do seva of our Guru is basically us serving God as well. So, Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj for a Sikh is that kar. Maharaj, that is a kar jidde vich todi kirti hegi hai. Whole of Guru Granth Sahib Ji is full of kirtan of Akal Purakh. So Maharaj says, Baba Jai Kar Karte Kirat Hoy. And a Gurdwara is the same place. Not only the Granth, but also the Asthan, the Jaga, the place, is where Kirat of Vaheguru takes place. So Maharaj says, So Kar Rakh Vadai Toy. In that place then, protect it. Protect all the Gurdware. When Ardas hovegi na, and Ardas ki kehnge? They'll say, Panja Takhta Ate Sarbat Gurdwarya Gurtama Tatyan Tarke. So we're saying to Akal Purakh that wherever there's Gurdwara of yours, wherever there's Guru Granth Sahib Ji Sarups, then protect those places. Right? So ek Ardas hai. And wherever there is Kirtan taking place, wherever there are Guru Sikhs who get together and they say maybe at somebody's house on a Friday night, or there might be some Amrit Vela someone's house, wherever those places where the Sikhs get together and do Kirtan of Akal Purakh, ਉਹਨਾਂ bhi tusi ਸਾਂਭ ਕੇ ਰੱਖੋ. Keep your protection there as well. One way we can imagine the protection of Akal Purakh right now is that whilst we're sitting in Sat Sangat, then Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Ahankar don't touch us. This is the greatness of Sat Sangat. Mehma sadhu sang ki Suno mere mita, mail khoi, kot agahare, nirmal hoy chita. Whilst we're sitting here, we'll have some sharm. We'll have a bit of shame if you think about the wrong things. While we're outside walking on the street, we might have no sharm, we might think about the wrong thing, but here, sanu sharm aandi hai. Yeah? There outside, if money dropped in front of us, we think, take it. Here, if money drops in front of us, we think, oh, let's give it back to the person who it came from. Ithe lalach bhi nahi manzoor. Here, greed is not even accepted. Ithe kaam, na krodh, na lobh, na moh. Ithe krodh bhi na, on the streets, if somebody started having an argument with you, right, you might feel tempted to just knock their head, you know, swearing at you. But in the Gurdwara, we say, no, ithe na karo, this is a Guru kar, right? What you see all the time is, they say, ki bhai, if there's an argument in the Gurdwara, now this is interesting because it comes up to the point when I was with the police. And I was in the police, we're talking to them. And I said that this is how we treat Guru Granth Sahib Ji with satkar. I said to the policeman, if you ever get called to a Gurdwara, which is quite common, yeah, maaf karna, ajkal ehi nobat aa gayi Sikh pande sir te, yeah, it's become common for the police to get called to a Gurdwara. I said, if you get called to a Gurdwara, not for having langar pani, but because there's a fight going on, yeah, then one thing you can do to avoid everybody turning up on you and having go at you is make sure you take your shoes off and cover your head. You might have to come in here and stop a fight, but please do these two little things, and then people will treat you with so much more respect because you did the adab satkar of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Because obviously the people that are doing the arguments, they're not keeping satkar of Maharaj, are they? Yeah? But still even they will go, look, they're coming with shoes on, right? And they were like, why can't you just do Sukhasan quickly and go? I said, look, that is how to take ardas, we have to do all this going on. It's easier to take the people out than to take Maharaj out. Yeah? And maaf karna, we should have the sharm to not behave that way in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. Or, if we're representing Guru Granth Sahib Ji and we've got this roop of a Sikh, then we should have the sharm not to do so. And what I said to them is, if you can get to a mic, get to the mic and have a go at the Sangat and say to them, aren't you ashamed of how you're behaving? I said, Punjabi guilt trips really work. Yeah? Have a guilt trip. Tusi kaho ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੇ ਸਾਹਮਣੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਇਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਹੋ ਸ਼ਰਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਉਂਦੀ and they were like oh we should have use a guilt trip on the sangat. I said yeah, that normally works, that might calm it down. They would never have thought of grabbing the mic and saying, look, you shouldn't be behaving this way in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji. I've had a lecture about Guru Granth Sahib Ji and this is not the right behavior. But satsang ji kai wari kehna painda hai. Many times young Naujawan like myself have had to tell the elders off to say this is not the right behavior in a Gurdwara or in fact in front of Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Yeah? So the greatness of Akal Purakh's naam, that Shanti, that stay away from Panjachor, if that greatness is given to us here, then Maharaj is saying, So kar raakh vadai toi. Now Satsang ji, one thing for us, this is ardas that we can do every day, is that Maharaj, I do your kirtan, hun apni vadiyai na mere vich rakho. Keep your greatness in me. The good things about you, keep them in me. The bad stuff about me, take them out of me, but the good stuff about me, about you, keep it inside me. Yeah? Mere hai avgun, tu gun sagar, jaat rasatal, ot tihari. I'm going to go to hell with what I'm full of. But if you can ignore my avgun and put in your gun sagar, your ocean of goodness, if you put that inside me, then I might get somewhere good. So, Baba jai kar karte kirat hoye, so kar raakh vadai toye. Keep your greatness, keep your naam in that place, in that house, in that soul, in that Hriday Roop Kar, in this body here, that praises you, Vaheguru. Raho. So going on to the next Shabad then, of Kirtan. Now this next Shabad is very famous. It comes up in Aarti as well. It comes up in Kirtan Sohila. So this is actually why many people used to call Kirtan Sohila Kirtan Aarti. They used to call it Kirtan Aarti as well, because Sohila Aarti was a word used many times before, because it has this Aarti Shabad inside there. Maharaj says, Rag Tanasri Mahalla Pehla Gagan mein Thaal Rab Chand Deepak Bane Tarika Mandal Janak Moti Toop Mal Aan Lo Pavan Chavaro Kare Sagal Ban Rae Phulant Jyoti कैसी आरती होए पव खंडना तेरी आरती अनहता शब्द वाजंत भेरी रहाओ सहस तब नैन नैन है तोहे को सहस मूरत नना एक तो ही सहस पद बिमल नन एक पद गंध बिन सहस तव गंध इव चलत मोही सब मह जोत जोत है सोए तिस दै चानन सब मह चानन होए गुर साखी जोत प्रगट होए जो तिस भावै सो आरती होए हर चरण कवल मकरंद लो भिद मनो अन दिनो मोहे आही प्यासा कृपा जल देह नानक सारंग को होए जाते तेरे नाए वासा। तनासरी महल राग तनासरी महला पहला। ना साध संगत जिवें तुसीं जानदे हो कि आरती विच भी ये शब्द आंदा है जिवें असीं आरती करदे हैगे सो क्योंकि ये शब्द गुरु ग्रंथ साहिब विच दो बार दर्ज हैगा ना twice it comes up in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So there are differences in every shabad just like Sodar comes up in Rera Sahib and in Japji Sahib. In the same way this shabad has small differences and these are to help us remember where are we reading Aarti or are we reading Rera Sahib, so we don't get wander off and start doing Naam Tero Aarti and you sit in there, oh I thought I was doing Rera Sahib but now I ended up in Aarti. So the reason these small changes, some of the changes you see, like for example when Maharaj says ki tis deh chanan sab meh chanan hoye, ithe deh tis deh chanan, and in Aarti itself it will be tis kya chanan sab meh chanan hoye. That's one difference. And the second thing is right at the very last line when it says tere nae vasa, in Kirtan Sohila we say tere nae vasa, and in Aarti we say tere naam vasa. Same meaning, just the word is slightly different. So era dhyan rakhya karo. And Maharaj says in Rag Tanasri Mahla Pehla, Gagan mein Thaal Rav Chand Deepak bane Tarika Mandal Janak Moti. So akhri arth pehla kariye, that will help us to understand what's going on here. Maharaj says Gagan mein Thaal. Gagan the sky. Simple explanation is sky. We'll come to a more deeper explanation in a little while. Maharaj says this sky, this is my thali. और आप लंगर छकना है उत्थे भी थाली मिलनी है, that's like a thali. But what's happening here, Maharaj says Rav Chand Deepak bane. Upon that thali, Rav meaning Ravivar as in Sunday, so sun, and Chand meaning the moon. Rav Chand Deepak bane. Upon this thali, the sun and the moon, they're like the Deepak, the little lamps that they light. And Tarika Mandal, the Mandal meaning the heavens, all the world, right? Upon the different planets, they are all full of stars, Tarika. Tarika means like a Tara. So Maharaj says, Tarika Mandal, those Tarika, in the Mandal, Janak Moti. Janak here means Ananu Jano, know them to be. Know them to be Janak. Janak here is obviously a name of a Mahapurush or Raj Janak. But here Janak just means know them to be. Jano Nanu Moti. They are like the pearls. Moti means the pearls that you get from obviously in the ocean, they get them out. And they're gifts, right? What are they talking about? Well, the Hindu Dharam, especially in Jagannath Puri, where Guru Maharaj went there as well, and they saw this Aarti taking place, what they would do is, they would get a thali, and upon that thali, they would put lamps, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4. Then on top of those lamps, they would put, around it, they would put lots of motiya and gold maybe sometimes though, and they would do Aarti of, they would do Aarti of idols. And they said puja ho rahi hai. This was a form of puja. The word Aarti itself, because it's nahi likhi, but it comes at the front, but it comes later on. Aarti itself comes from the word art, and art means to do qurban, to be sacrificed upon someone, nishavar hona. So this word comes from the idea of doing worship, to sacrifice yourself for someone. So obviously sacrifice can be of the physical body when we go and say give shahidi, but the other version of sacrifice is in your daily life when you sacrifice your mind to your Guru. When you say to your Guru, I will follow your way. So the true sacrifice for us is to put our mind down and start to listen to Guru's hukam. So odi gal ho rahi hai, what is hukam? What is it to do aarti, to do worship? What is it to be a qurban upon somebody? Maharaj says, "Ho qurbane jao mehrwana, ho qurbane jao tinake lan jo tera nao." I must sacrifice upon those that take your name. Lan jo tera nao tinake ho sad qurbane jao. So the idea of being qurban upon our Guru, to be qurban upon the Sangat, the Sant, Mahapurukh, that's a very common thing in Sikhi. But Maharaj here is now talking about these people that are doing a form of worship, like this with Thali. And what are they worshipping? Patthar, stones. And Guru Sahib here now says, Ki tusi dekho, you're doing Aarti, have a look, you're doing Aarti of what you think is a form of God. Right? The Patthar. And you're doing worshipping, you've got these things, nice thali, very nice and clean, you put some lamps inside it, and you're trying to worship this stone. But they say, look at the Akal Purakh Vaheguru. Look at what the world is doing of Akal Purakh Vaheguru. The whole world is doing Aarti of Akal Purakh Vaheguru. They're saying, look at the sky is holding up these stars, and it's got these beautiful lamps, the sun and the moon, and on top of that, all the pearls are inside there. And they start now to describe this Aarti with the rest of the Shabads. When we look at them, Maharaj starts to describe all these things. But what they're saying is that you are trying to do Aarti, but the world is doing Aarti. Look around you. Look at this beautiful Brahmand. The whole Brahmand, the whole nature is actually singing the praises of God. How is it singing the praise of God? It's staying in hukam. Hukam vich rehna, that's a very big thing. To follow the hukam. The sun has been told, you're going to stay in the middle and the planets are going to go around you. You're going to burn, give off heat. The sun doesn't decide one day, chalo rehn do man, I want a day. But day off, I can't be able to keep burning so much. Maine chutti do ek din di. No. Every day it burns and burns and burns. Huh? And it never says, I'm just going to leave these planets and go off for a little bit and come back. Then look at the moon, it's been told you're going to go around the earth. The earth has been told you're going to go around the sun. And it chalde rehende ne. You know, people think that, oh, even just a little thing I realized the other day, we think the sun is static and everything's going around the sun. The sun is moving as well. The sun is going on. And Maharaj says, Koho karodi charit na ant. The sun and the moon and the earth, they keep moving. The sun is actually going in this direction and all the planets are going around the sun. It's not stationary. It's just that to understand it in a 2D model, we made this orbit. Guruji talks about that the Suraj and the earth and the sun, they're all moving all the time. They knew that the planets aren't fixed in one place like we see on a 2D map. So, they're saying, look at this whole world is doing Aarti. Now, Rabindranath Tagore is a famous Indian poet. He won the Nobel Peace Prize, I believe, as well. Bengali si. When he came to Harmandir Sahib and he heard Aarti being sung in this way, because these words are very simple words, any Indian can understand them. And he just went like, wow. He said, Eto, this is the most amazing Shabad ever. Guru Nanak Dev Ji talked about how there is no limit to Aarti. Asimya, the real Aarti, the real worship is actually beyond any limit because the whole world is doing Aarti of Akal Purakh Vaheguru. So he was in bliss and he said this to be one of the most beautiful Shabads in the world. Now, but for us as a Sikh, Guru Maharaj is telling us in this, Ithe Gagan ki hai. Now let's look at the word Gagan. You know, in Indian philosophy, there is supposed to be 5 tats, Panch tat hai. Now Panch tat da sareer bhi banaya. Everything is made of Panch tat, the body and all the world. What are these Panch tat? You got earth, you got fire, you got wind and you got water. You know? So Dharti, Agni, Pani, Agni Besantar, Pani and Hava. Then the 5th element, okay, and there's a movie called The 5th Element, right? Because it's about something other than the normal. The 5th element is Akash or Gagan, ether. What they can't define, the magic. So how are things made up of 5 things? But the 4th one, for example, Islam does not accept. Yeah, they say only 4 elements. There's no 5th one. But when India is ki hoya, the people started looking at the earth. Like for example, I got a big plant, a pot of mud, and I planted some seeds. Then a tree grew up in that. I took this tree out and I took the earth. And you measure the earth and the tree, and the earth is the same, but there's now a tree there. So jara banda si na, the scientist, the desi scientist, he looked at, he was like, for this tree isn't made out of mud. Because it's literally the same amount of mud that was there before, and now there's a tree there. So, and obviously we know that the tree is consuming these things, but then it gets recycled. So what is it made out of? They said there must be something else that is making this. Enane kyata akash, or Gagan. And what is this? This is the Akal Purakh di Jot. This is the light, the power, the takat of Vaheguru that is making these things grow. Because really, if you just put mud and water and all these things together, you can't get this tree to grow unless you have the Jot. We can't, if you take the physical elements of our body, put them together, they won't just come together and they won't create a human being. You won't come to life. Because there's something else, the life, the energy, the force that's inside these Akash, Gagan. And this Maharaj is saying, Gagan mein Thaal. This Akash, this Brahmand, is even referred to in Gurbani as, Maharaj says, Amrit Tar, Gagan, Das Dwar. They say the Amrit Tar is coming from the Gagan, a Dasam Dwar. That element inside us that is made up of Vaheguru, ode vichoi Amrit mil raha. And that Gagan is inside us. So when they talk about Dasam Dwar up here, when somebody does similar anyway, it feels like a sky in your head. It feels like something very big inside your own head. So now, this is talking about Akal Purakh becoming Pargat inside the person. Gagan mein Thaal, Rav Chand Deepak. When Maharaj is saying, look in that Gagan is a source of everything. Everything is inside this Gagan. And that Gagan is inside you. Jara Gagan bahar hai, wo andar bhi hai. As you look for it outside, you're trying to worship of God from the outside, but the thing you're trying to worship God with is inside you in the first place. Jehdi thali hai na, wo andar hi baithi hai. The main thing to try to worship God with is inside you, andron, Amritar, Gagan, Dasdwar. So, Maharaj says here, we'll go forward, but now when Maharaj is talking to these people, I want to get to just socho jara, what is Guru Sahib coming from? Are they coming from how we would do it nowadays? Mere varga, I would go to that place, I would say, you don't know what you're on about. This isn't the real worship. You know, we'd feel like when I point out to them their idiocy, you know, you're wrong. Tushe murak hai gyo. Kuch pahan mein parameswar nahi. Yeah? There's no stone that's got God inside it. You need to start worshipping inside. But the thing is are we coming there with ahankar? Many times, yes. We come there with pride. Upon our Guru, we come there with pride. Upon ourselves, we figured it out from our Guru and we start to custom. But asal vishna, when Guru Sahib is sitting there in Jagannath Puri and they're seeing all these people doing Aarti, Guru Maharaj is not coming from negativity, they're coming from daya. They're coming from compassion. They're coming to say, these people, what has happened to them is that when people used to meditate, they used to worship God from inside, they used to realize that when you go into Naam, when you go into Dasamdwar, you start to experience certain things. Right? You start to experience this lush sugandhi. Yeah? There was nice smell. That there was bells ringing. So when they would go inside a mandir, they would ring a bell. But really what it meant was that when you would ring the bell, it was reminding you that before you get to darshan of Akal Purakh, there'd be Anhad Shabad coming as well. Anhad Shabad would come first, and then you would from Gyan Khand go further on to Sachkhand. So all these things were ishare, they were sanket, they were signs to make you think about something bigger. But what happened is that as people were pointing towards the sun, people started worshipping that finger that was pointing. Jara ishara si na, onni pujan lag pe. And Guru Maharaj is trying to point them towards the sun that the finger was pointing to in the first place, and now get stuck at the finger that's pointing towards the sun. Very easy to do. Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, although a Sikh worships the Guru, Guru Maharaj is telling us, worship Vaheguru. Sikh kehna Gur Samrat Gur Nirankar, Gur Ucha Agam Apar, Gur ki mehma kya kaha, kya kathe kathanhar. Sikh to kehna ki you are my worship. But the Guru is saying, nahi je tu mainu poojna hai, then you get adjoined to the Shabad. So here, Guru Maharaj is joining us towards Vaheguru, and this Gagan Daswar, the people that went towards that way, Maharaj sees that now they've gotten stuck with the worship of the things that are created and not the worship of the thing that is the creator, the one who made it all, the creator, Akal Purakh. And when you look at this situation, try to understand the context. India, in Guru Nanak Dev Ji's time, is going through a big upheaval. What's going on? Islam has come there. Islam comes and it has only one view. One view. What is that view? Akal Purakh is Nirgun. Yeah? His monotheistic view, he's not in this world. Completely Nirgun, completely Nirankar. He's not part of this world. So we can't worship anything that is created. That's what they say. No human being has got God inside them. There's no Jyot to be Pargat inside anybody. He is Gupt, ke Gabul Gab hai. He's always Gab. He's never Hazar Nazar. He can't be seen. He can't be felt. He can't be any way manifested in a person. Guru Sahib is saying that view is not wrong. The Akal Purakh is Nirgun. The Akal Purakh is Nirankar. But then on the other extreme, you've got this mentality now where they've forgotten about Nirankar Vaheguru and they're focusing only upon the Kirtan Vaheguru, the created being, as in the Pathars, the Devi Devte, the things that were made by Akal Purakh. They start worshipping only those things. They think that, you know what, if I voice this idol in a certain way with Dud, if I put these jewels upon this thali and I do like this, फिर मेरी सेवा होगी, मेरी पूजा होगी. And Guru Sahib is saying, Dekho, both of you are going slightly wrong. They're not doing it to point out why they're wrong and why they're better. They're doing it out of their compassion. They're coming to say the world, you are lost. Jagat jalanda, rakh le, apni kirpa tar, jit dware ubre, titte leho ubar. They're saying the world is lost. Guru Maharaj has come to guide the world back towards what is Akal Purakh really? Kaun hai? Who is he really for us? And Maharaj tells us in Sukhmani Sahib, Ki nirgun aap, sargun bhi ohi, kalatar, jin sagli mohi. They say, nirgun aap, sargun bhi ohi. Yes, he is nirgun, but sargun bhi hai. Sargun means with qualities. Nirgun has no qualities, he's got no height, he's got no width, he's got no depth, he's got no color. That Guru Gobind Singh starts off by saying, Chakkar chahan, ar baranjat, ar patan hinjay, roop rang, ar rek pek, kau keh na sakat keh. Achal murt anpau prakash, amitoj ka hijjay, kot indra indran sahe sahan, ganijjay. Tre bahan mein mahib, sur nar asur, net net bantrin kahat, tav sarab naam kathe kavan. Karam naam banat sumat. Guru Gobind Singh says that in Jap Sahib. They even say in their Bani, they go, Nirjur Nirup ho, thoda koi roop nahi. Nirjur Nirup ho, ke sundar sarup ho. Dekho, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Pasha is saying, Nirgun aap, sargun bhi ohi. He is Nirgun and he is Sargun. Kalatar. He's got his energy, he's got his power. Jin sagli mohi. He's got everybody attracted to him. Everybody loves Akal Purakh. Koi bhi dekh ke na, no one can see Akal Purakh and not bow down. No one can experience Vaheguru and not go, Vaha. Oh, he Vaheguru hai. That's why he's Vaheguru, because when you experience him, just to like you've gone from darkness to light, then you will say Vaha. Hoi nahi sakta ki you can't say, nah, I just saw God, forget it. Kuch nahi si. And nahi hai. No one said, I met God and said, nah, prefer something else, mate. No. Sabne sir jhukaya. Just like when the Chote Sahibzade wo jehdi movie dikhi si na, I was showing my kids today a little bit the movie, and the Sahibzade, they say, you say that you're going to capture our father. The person to capture our father has not yet been born. Then they say something further. They go, whoever has seen our Guru, they were asking the Chote Sahibzade, Wazir Khan was asking Chote Sahibzade to bow down to him. They say, we don't bow to anybody. They say, but whoever sees our Guru, they bow down. They go, even if you saw our Guru and you experienced who he was, even your head would fall down in front of him. And then Baba Fateh Singh Ji moves in front of Baba Zorawar Singh. As they move in front, they line up. Utthe Wazir Khan ne movie dikhande ki darshan ho gaya Guru Gobind Singh Ji de. And his head just falls down like that. Dekhte he falls down. Kyon? Kalatar. When he comes as Aap Narayan Kalatar, Jag mein parvaryo. Whoever saw Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, who is Aap Narayan, came upon earth, Kalatar, with his old energy. When they saw Maharaj, they go, Nirgun aap, Sargun bhi ohi, Kalatar, jin sagli mohi. You have attracted, everybody falls down in front of you, Maharaj, because of how great you are. So, here, this is a bigger battle than what we think just the Aarti is. We think Aarti, odi gal ho rahi hai sirf. This is some big theological debate going on here. Is he in the world or is he outside the world? Is it okay to worship the tree or do you have to worship only the roots? Is it okay to worship the house or can you have to look only at the foundation? Is it okay to worship the Paramatma or can you also worship the Atma that has become realized? The fully realized being who's become Pargat. Gur Sakhi Jot Pargat hue. Can we worship the person who becomes Pargat? Brahm Gyani Aap Nirankar? Is that possible or not? Edi gal ho rahi hai the. Guru Maharaj is saying कि he is all. Sahib mera eko hai. He's only one. He is everything. Tu mera pita, tu hai mera mata. And dekho, in Sikhi, we respect our parents. We respect them, but we also understand that while he is inside our mata and our pita, he is also separate from them as well. So while we respect our parents as a form of Akal Purakh, at the same time we don't lose sight that Akal Purakh not to be vadda hai. And he's telling me something else as well. It's a very awkward line. Bhagtan ki chal nirali. Chala nirali bhagtan keri. Bikham marg chalna. It's a hard path to walk. To see him in the world and not to see him in the world. To realize who he is great. So for a Sikh, we have this both sides. Ek nirgun, nirankar di puja, and ek paase sargun, the physical. And the Guru for us is both. Guru Gobind Singh is saying, Nirjur Nirup ho. There's your unparalleled and you are Nirup, you've got no form. Nirjur Nirup ho, ke sundar sarup ho. But you've got a beautiful form. Your sarup is so beautiful. Na tusi dekh sakde hai gyo, but tusi bade sundar bhi hai gyo. Kive honda hai? How can it happen? Nirjur Nirup ho, ke sundar sarup ho, ke pupan ke pup ho, ke data mahadan ho. You're a great giver as well. Sab kuch dende ho, but dekhde bhi nahi. How do I say thanks to you? I can't even see, but you give me everything. So here, Guru Maharaj is pointing to Akal Purakh and they're saying that thwade vich hi hai. Inside you there he is, and the way to experience him is both sides. Ek paase aapa nirgun di puja karni hai. The one who can't be seen, we're going to worship him. How? Through the Shabad. The Shabad is our way to worship Nirgun. The Naam is our way to worship Vaheguru. To worship God, because you can't offer him something because he gave you everything. Kabir ji says in Aarti, jidi si lambi aap Aarti padde na, he says, whatever you've given me, if I give back to you, it's like, kya lage mera? If I give to you, what can I give back to you anyway? You've given me everything. Terha tuj pe sompte, kya lage mera? The idea of that is that we can't do anything for this Nirgun form. So what we can do is worship, fall into the hukam. Jo te sapave, so aarti hoy. What makes you happy is Naam. What you want us to do in this world is Naam. Maharaj says, Khoob, 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 khoob tero naam. Choot, 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 duni guman. You love us to chant your name, you love us to worship you. The thing you really don't like is hankar upon ourselves. When we take pride upon ourselves, Maharaj says, na, mainu nahi pasand, ye gandagi hai. Take pride upon yourself, gandagi hai. Take pride in Vaheguru and say, Vah, Vaheguru, you done this. Maharaj says, ye Aarti. This is the real Aarti going on. Now you're worshipping me because you understand who I am and who you are. We're takers, we're not givers. Asi lende hege, de da de, lende thak pahe, juga jugantar khai khai. In all the ages, every single person nirantar kharine from that one Vaheguru. Everybody is taking, no one gives to him. So, puja akal ki. We worship Akal Purakh Vaheguru who has no form, who's not here, through the Shabad, Parcha Shabad ka. And then now how do we actually serve him as well? Seva bhi to karni hai. Seva ek paase Simran, remembering Vaheguru, ek paase Seva. Simran will take us to that Dasandwar. Simran will take us to that avastha where we can start to connect with Vaheguru and we can start to experience Vaheguru inside us, and the Anhad Shabad can come as well. Anhad Shabad de bhi do arth nikalde hain. One, that music that is playing all the time. That naad, the music, the divine music that is playing everywhere, but sanu sunda nahi. But there's one, had means to play, unhad means not played. Not played by someone, but is there. But ek hondi hai had, matlab had hogi. I've reached a limit. Unhad, there's no limit. I nirantar, it's going on all the time. That's the Simran that Akal Purakh blesses people. Fir Simran andar na, Simran shuru ho jana. From inside, that Simran starts and doesn't stop then. The heart itself starts chanting Vaheguru with every heartbeat. Then those people that are blessed with this, by Akal Purakh themselves, fir Sehje the Simran starts and then the Simran carries on going. Anhad Shabad. The Shabad meaning the mantra is going all the time. Nirantar chal rahe. So a avasthavan, these are spiritual states that come from going into samadhi. Samadhi meaning when the mind goes blank and stays focused only upon Vaheguru. Odi yaad vich, as we sit and we remember Vaheguru, we're saying Vaheguru, Vaheguru, Vaheguru. All the vichar inside our mind gets wiped away and we just focus upon that Simran, the name. The name becomes the only thing that we're hearing. We're only hearing Vaheguru's name. We're not thinking, we're just remembering Vaheguru. That becomes a samadhi. They say, Kehen na jai archarj bismad. They say, I can't talk about, they say in Sukhmani Sahib, Maharaj says that Nonid Amrit Prabh ka naam dehi mein iska bisram. The naam is inside you. Then the next Shabad, in the next Pankti, they say that you are Nad. You are the Anhad Nad. And then they say, Kehen na jai archarj bismad. They say, but it's so amazing, main to keh nahi janda. And Akal Purakh is telling us that inside you is this Gagan. Go to that Gagan. Everything will join you to Akal Purakh in that samadhi when you finally start to focus on the true worship of Nirjur Nirupaho. Through a Shabad, Gurbani is that way that we can worship God. And then what do we do seva of then? This thing that is left then, the seva, is of the Sargun form. Sargun form of Vaheguru being people. Serving people, they are the form of God upon earth. For a Sikh, there's seva and Simran. The two things join together, hand in hand. So apa seva karni hegi hai, dunya di. We can't serve that Vaheguru, Akal Purakh in that sense. All we can do is do Simran of that Vaheguru. So what can we do seva of? Of the earth, of the planet, of this beautiful nature that we've given. This, we've been given this beautiful earth and we treat it like complete dirt. We don't look after it. The whole world is ruining the earth. We know it, polluting the water, polluting everything. We're not taking care of it. Duje paase, human beings. In this Shabad Maharaj says, Sab mein hai jyot, jyot hai soe. This is that chanan, sab mein hai chanan hoye. To fir seva karo, serve people, look after people, be compassionate. Maharaj is reminding these pandits, these yogis, and the Muslims who say that God is not inside the world. The ones that are thinking He's completely Nirankar, Maharaj says, no, sab mein hai jyot, jyot hai soe. Akal Purakh is inside everybody. They bring in the two things together and they're saying, look at the humanity, look at animals, look at how much we treat the animals with so much disrespect, with complete lack of compassion. Maharaj says, no, sab mein hai jyot, jyot hai soe. See Him inside every single being and treat every single being with compassion. See Him inside everybody, so treat them nicely. Fikka na bolo. Be forgiving, be loving, be compassionate. These qualities that we fall down, I fall down every day. Maharaj says, Yaad rakho Gursikha, ehi tarika hai. This is the way to find Him inside you. To love Him in His creation and love Him in His creator form. Tusi ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਕਾਲ ਪੁਰਖ ਨਿਰੰਕਾਰ ਵੀ ਮੰਨੋ ਤੇ ਆਕਾਰ ਵੀ ਮੰਨੋ. See Him in the world, see Him in His creation and see Him outside the creation. Serve the creation and worship the creator. So, ਇੱਥੇ Maharaj, now we'll go through the Shabad in more detail. Maharaj says, Gagan mein Thaal Rav Chandi Pak bane Tarika Mandal Janak Moti. They say, this worship is going on all around you. But andar dekho, look inside. They say, Toop male aan lo. They say, you're trying to give it toop. You're trying to, toop means this agarbatti, like incense sticks. Maharaj says, Toop male aan lo. What is male aan? There was a famous mountain called Malle Parbat. Malle Parbat was famous, the Parbat means mountain. At the top of Malle Parbat, there was a whole forest of sandalwood. And from this forest, when the wind would come from the forest, from the top of the mountain, the people living around that area, they could smell that beautiful sandalwood because sandalwood is so beautiful, and many agarbatti are made from sandalwood flavor. So Maharaj is saying that Toop, you're trying to give flavor to God, you're trying to create something from your own buddhi to worship God with nice fragrance. Maharaj said, look at this beautiful mountain. Toop male aan lo. When that male aan means the wind that came from that mountain, it was spread everywhere. The whole community, the whole town would smell beautiful. Forget that one little agarbatti, that one little incense stick. Imagine when the whole pind, the whole shahr is full of the smell coming from that mountain. Toop male aan lo. Pavan chavaro kare. We're trying to do chavar. Chavar means the chaur sahib. You say you're trying to do chavar to Akal Purakh. He said, look at this wind that's brushing the whole earth with such pyar, with caresses. You know when you go outside, it's a hot day, and then the wind comes and you feel so good? Yeah? Socho, Akal Purakh has created their own worship in this whole world. Toop male aan lo, pavan chavaro kare, sagal banaraye, phulant jyoti. Banaraye here means all the ban meaning the forestry, the grass, the flowers that are glowing out there. All the things that are growing out there, the valley of flowers, like if you go to Hemkund Sahib on the way, you see a beautiful valley of flowers. Maharaj says, Sagal Banarai, Phulant Jyoti. The whole of the earth, all the flowers, they are the full that you will put into this Aarti. And you're doing Aarti of Akal Purakh, you're throwing flowers. Even some people use this to criticize Nihang Singhs. When the Nihang Singhs do Aarti Khadke. Nihang Singhs Khadke na, they do Aarti with the Thali, and they throw flowers upon Vaheguru. And they say, oi, galt hai. Maharaj is not saying galt or sahi. They're saying, don't just do this Aarti, do the inside Aarti as well. Maharaj didn't go anywhere and kisi cheez nu bhang nahi kita. They didn't say, you're wrong, you're completely wrong. They were saying, don't just focus upon the finger, focus upon Akal Purakh there as well. What you're focusing upon, focus upon Nirgur, Nirjur Nirup ho, ke sundar sarup ho. Yes, Maharaj looks beautiful when we throw flowers. Yes, it looks good when we all stand in a line and we queue up and we matha take when Guru Granth Sahib Ji goes. That's a good way to inculcate respect, to have that fear of Akal Purakh. Because if you don't have that fear, there's no real love there. Jithe adab satkar nahi, utthe pyar bhi nahi ho sakda. Satsang ji, I tell you one thing, nowadays we don't have any adab satkar sometimes. Jithe satkar hai, utthe pyar bhi hai. Guru Maharaj is telling us, no, you have to keep that fear and respect for Vaheguru. And this form of worship of Vaheguru, of our Guru, in the way they sings, the Nihang Singhs do it, oh bhi bada sonaya, is beautiful. And there's many times we do Fuladi Barkha in Gurdwara as well. Even in Havlur we did it. And that's form of that worshipping Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So kar rakh vadai tohe. The greatness of Akal Purakh is in Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. So Maharaj says, Kaisi aarti hoye, pavakhandna teri aarti. So Vaheguru, look at this whole world. This is your aarti happening. You've created your own aarti. What can we do to compete? Kaisi aarti hoye. This is a worship. Toda mein kurban hova. I'm a kurban. I'm a sacrifice to this beautiful Kudrat. Kudrat this hai. I can see you in the creation. Then Maharaj says, Pavakhandana teri aarti. Why do they use this word Pavakhandana? Pavakhandana means the destroyer of fear. Your worship is going on, Vaheguru, you are destroyer of fear. Satsanga ji, when we start to do some of these puja, as a Sikh we've been told very clearly, ki appa kidre bat gaur mari mat purna aane. For without even by mistake, we're not going to go to somebody's qabr, as in a grave of a Muslim saint, and bow down there. We're not going to worship in front of any idols. We've been told these things. We're not going to man any special one day or put a black string around our wrist or put a bit of the Quran verse in a little amulet around our arm. We've been told this by our Guru ki no, only focus upon Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Be a wafadar Sikh, be a loyal Sikh to Guru Granth Sahib Ji Maharaj. Say to Guru Maharaj, tumhe shard koi avar na tyaun, jo bar chaun, so tum te paun. Let me take only from you, but still, fear is what drives us towards other places. Fear that Pandit no paise nahi dete. People now ask a Pandit, what should I give to the Gurdwara? Daso Pandit ji, what should I give today? He goes, oh, today is Wednesday, you should go and give this thing. What does a Pandit have anything to do with you giving to the Gurdwara? Stop getting caught in the ritualism. Maharaj says, Pavakhandana teri aarti. Akal Purakh, if you start to worship him in the right way, if you start to worship Vaheguru in the right way, your fear will go. You will not care about days and weeks and months and what time of the year and what season it is. You won't care about these things. You look at the pyar, because Gobind pao pagadda pukha. He's hungry for one thing, loving worship, prem, bhakti. Prema bhakti is a Sikhi way. So Maharaj says that if you go down that way or destroy your affair, as I worship you, I look at the world and I enjoy it. Maharaj says, Anhata sabad vajant peri. Anhad, the unstruck melody, mar vajant peri. Peri means periya, means all the different symphonies. What they would do, they would have somebody on shane, somebody on a narsinga, somebody on a flute, and it would be a big symphony worshipping Vaheguru through music. Honbi jao, go to the Hindu places, and they will be singing so much music. Maharaj says, when I worship, when I'm going to you through Naam, when that jot becomes pragat inside me, what I hear is the Anhad Shabad. I don't hear this music. This does not interest me. Because this music is just like that finger pointing towards Vaheguru. The way they did this music was because people heard the Anhad Shabad and they wanted to tell people, listen, when you go towards him, you hear music. But look, you utthe hi fas gaye, utthe tak seemat reh gaye. They stayed limited to that music. They didn't go further and try and experience the Anhad Shabad through Naam. So Maharaj then says, Anhata Sabad Vajant Peri Raho. They're hearing that Shabad, they're saying, that is the real Shabad you want to reach towards. Then they say, Sahas Tavnan Nannan hai tohe ko, Sahas Murat Nana ek tohi. Sahas means thousands. Sahas Tavnan, Nan means eyes. Maharaj, you have thousands of eyes. When I see you in your Nirgun form, you have no eyes. When I see you in your Sargun form, you're inside everyone. So Maharaj is saying, I see you in both. Sahastavnan, you have so many eyes. Every single being has got your light inside. Every single eye is actually your eye. Then they say, Nannan hai to heko. Nan means no. Nannan, no eyes. Nannan hai to heko. Many people don't know how to say these bits because they don't know where to pause. So when you say Sahastavnan, pause. Nannan hai to heko, but you've got no eyes. Sahas Murat Nana ek tohi, you have thousands of muratiyan. Not inside the stones, but in people. You're inside every single person. Gurbani also tells us, Guru Shabad, Guru Murat, Guru Shabad hai. The Guru's real murti is the Guru Shabad. Gurbani. Then Maharaj says, Nana ek tohi, but you haven't actually got one either. Ik binish twadi murti, akal murat. There's no murti that is outside of time. It was created and it will get destroyed. Maharaj says, your murti is without any time. Nana ek tohi. Then they say, Sahas pad bimal. Pad means here, feet. Yeah. And Maharaj says here, Sahas pad bimal. Bimal here means lotus. Kaval. So Maharaj says, you've got thousands of feet. Nan ek pad gandbin. Sorry, nan ek pad. You have actually got a single foot. Sahas pad bimal. Nan ek pad. You haven't got one foot actually. When we say in Sikhi that Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj would make Amrit with their foot, Charan Amrit. Where is that Charan Amrit now? Many times from this stage I've said the same thing. Now the Guru's Charan are in Gurbani. Because that Gurbani is spoken into the Amrit. And then it becomes into Amrit, the Panjabaniya. So the Guru's Shabad now is the Charan of the Guru. If you want to touch your Guru's Charan, pick up a Gurka and start reading part. That is touching your Guru's Charan. Maharaj says, then, Gandh bin, Vaheguru, Nan ek pad gandh bin, Sahas tav gandh ev charat mohi. They say you actually haven't got one foot. The Tena, these two words got joined together. Nan ek pad gandh bin. Gandh bin, you haven't got a single egg. Sugandhi means a nice smell. So Gandh here refers to the nose. You haven't got a single nose. But Maharaj says you've then got 1,000 noses. Sahas tav gandh. You've got thousands of noses. Ev chalat mohi. It chalat. What does the word chalat mean? Ev chalat mohi. Chalat means that play. Bachitra natak. Charitra. This amazing charitra, this amazing play you've created. Maharaj says, Ev chalat mohi. I am totally enraptured by this play of yours. You know in that Shabad, when Maharaj says, Ki kite ko mere sammane karan har trin jane. You look at the creation and you look at it as a mountain. But Karanhar, the one who did it, you look at him as a little blade of grass. Kite ko mere sammane Karanhar trinjane. Tu datar mangan ko sagli, tum daan deho prab pane. Khin mein avar, khine mein avra, acharj chalat tumare. Rudo, gudo, gahan gambiro, ucho, agam apare. Mara says, you're everywhere. This game of yours, I'm totally enraptured in that game. Then they carry on. They go, Sab meh jot, jot hai soi. They say, what is the way to find this out then? The light of Akal Purakh is inside every single being. This is where Islam stops short. Satsangaji, we're not going to criticize Islam, but we have to accept there's limitation. Or Seema vich. They haven't, in their doctrine, many Muslims have understood this, but in doctrinally, if you look at a Sunni sect, they won't accept this. The Akal Purakh's Jyot is inside us. Many, many times I've been in Hyde Park and I've been stopped by them, and they say, how can he be inside you? Yeah, that's the way he is. Oh, samajhde nahi. I didn't put him there. Why are you asking me? है ना? मैं थोड़ी पाया रब ने अपने विच. उत्थे ही सी, है ना? नौनिद अमृत प्रभ का नाम, देही में इसका विश्राम. He is inside us. सब में है ज्योत, ज्योत है सोए. They don't understand this, but he's there. This is their chanan, सब में है chanan होए. His shine twinkles inside everybody. Chanan means his light, his twinkling is inside every single person. Sab means everyone. So, this their chanan, sab mein hai chanan hoye. But how do we find this to be true? It's very hard. The world will keep pointing towards the finger. The world will say, worship the patthar, worship only Akal Purakh separately. Mara says, no, if you go to the Shabad, go to Sakhi. Sakhi means the teaching, Sikhya. But the Guru's teachings, the Guru's stories, Guru Sakhi Jyot Paragat hoy. You will realize that light inside you. Guru Sakhi Jyot Paragat hoy. When you realize that light inside you is there, ki andar hi Vaheguru hai. He was always here from the very beginning. He's my closest friend. That Vaheguru is the one who's inside me. Maharaj will say, when that happens to you now, then you'll understand, Jyot se bhav hai, so Aarti hoy. The real Aarti is going on inside. Whatever he gets happy with, how will you find out if he's got happy now? ये भी का सोचने वाली है. People think, I don't know how I'll make him happy. तो उन्हें पता लग जाऊगा, अंदरों ही पता लग जाऊगा. As you go closer to him, as you make him happy, his kirpa will come upon you and you feel closer and closer and closer. You now have inside you an ability to know if you're closer or further away. You know that. Through Naam, Naam allows us to have like a pulse. You know, hot, cold? When you play that game, kids play that game, innit? Closer, are you hotter or close or colder, further away? So Naam will become that compass inside you. That experience of God inside you will become the compass, and you know if you're going the right way, and you know if you're going the wrong way. So Maharaj says, Jyot se bhav hai, so Aarti hai. Andron, you will start to understand that he will be happy, and how he is happy from Naam, from the Guru Shabad, Guru Sakhi Jyot Paragat hoye, Jyot se bhav hai, so Aarti hoye. Guru Sahib says themselves in the Chema Shabad in Japji Sahib. Maharaj says, so it's very clear. They say, listen, you could go to a Tirath. Tirath nava, Jetis Pava. Pava means to make happy. Vin Pane, Ke Nai Kari. If I don't make him happy, what's the point? So real worship is making him happy. So all the other things that don't make him happy, we ignore those. And we stick to the thing that actually makes him really happy, which is Naam. Naam Tero Aarti. Majnu Murare. Har ke naam bin jhoothe, sagal pasare. Without Naam, everything is completely jhootha. Then Maharaj carries on, they go, Har charan kaval makarand lo bid mano andeno mohe ahi pyasa. They say Har charan kamal. The Vaheguru's charan kamal are Gurbani for us. Makarand lo bid mano. My mind, my mana, is like a makarand. Makarand is that the big bee. Not the small bee, but the big bee. Bumblebee is called, isn't it? The bee is a small bee, Madhumakhi, and there's a bigger bee, the makarand. And that's like a bumblebee. Maharaj says, my mind is that bumblebee, and it's going round and round what? Haricharan Kamal. Your feet, Vaheguru. Now here, obviously Gurbani, but also Nimrta Nal, we worship Vaheguru's feet. And this is about that ultimate surrender. Haricharan Kamal makarand lo bidmano. My mind is greedy Lob means greed. Lob bidamano, my mind is greedy like that power around you. Maharaj says, Andino mohe ahi pyasa. Day and night I'm thirsty for your charan kamal. Day and night I want your darshan. Day and night I want to sit by your feet and sing your praises. And this is what's happened to him. Mohe ahi pyasa. This pyas is what we really want, satsang. Jasi roj karne, twice a day when we read our Chaupai Sahib, we say, Puran hoye hamari asa, tor bhajan ki rahe pyasa. If we start to go into Guru Shabad, Gurbani, we will get that thirst for that naam. And the last pankti Maharaj says, Kirpa jal dehe nanak saranko hoy jate tere nae vasa. They said, then do kirpa upon me. Kirpa jal de. What is this jal? Jal means that thing that I'm thirsty for. If I'm pyasa, I need some water to give me to take away that thirst. So Maharaj tells us, Madho jal ki pyas na jaye. Why? Because when I get into inside you, I'll be even more and more thirsty. E pyas jani nahi. But Maharaj says, what is the one thing that I want? Har darsan ko mera man bahut tapta hai, jo trikha want bin neer, mere man prem lago har teer. I've been hurt by this arrow of love. Now I only want your love. And what happens? Maharaj says, ki at the end of the Shabad, they go har darsan sant sarir. My body will only now become calm when I get your darshan. So odi pyas, kirpa jalde, give me that darshan. Nanak saranko, I'm that thirsty little bird that's looking for that drop of water. I'm that little bird that's asking for your darshan. Then Maharaj says, kirpa jalde nanak saranko. Then what would happen? Hoy jate tere naam vasa. So that I might come and live in your name. As I said, the whole thing is about naam. The whole of this Shabad, when it comes to the end, explains to us what is the real Aarti, this naam. The real Aarti is naam, the real worship. If we don't chant his name, then we've wasted our life. Without this naam, everything is wasted. Naam bina, sab duniya chhar. Guru Nanak Ji Pasha says that as well. So, hoy jate tere nae vasa. Let us do ardas to our Guru, ki Maharaj kirpa karo, give me your darshan, that I might stay my whole life absorbed in your naam, in singing your praises. Naam is vadiyai. Thodi main vadiyai karda ravan. Let me not stop. So I've gone a bit over the time. We started a bit late as well. Let's finish off with a couple of simrans to remind ourselves what we're here for. Us to baad fir samapti. Sare bolo Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. पुनः चुका देखिए जी गज गज फतेह आखो जी वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह.
If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share and subscribe. Please donate and help spread Guruji's message. Link is in the description below. Vaheguru ji ka khalsa, Vaheguru ji ki fateh.